Okay. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vitanscha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraet. So Mahabharata, Dyuta Parva, chapter 2, 8, 4 and 59 of the Parva. Duryodhana said, oh wait a minute, Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Duryodhana said, O Kshatta, bring Draupadi here, the beloved and honoured wife of the Pandavas. Let us sweep and perform our tasks. It will be good to see her with the serving girls. Vidura replied, through people like you, the impossible happens. O evil one, you do not know that you are tying yourself in a noose. Do you not realize that you are extended over a precipice? You are only a deer, but you are angering tigers. O one who is greatly evil at heart, angry serpents, full of venom, have raised themselves above your head. Do not anger them, and do not go to Yama's abode. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, Krishna, meaning Draupadi, has not yet become a slave. The king offered her as a stake when he was no longer his master. A bamboo bears fruit only to kill itself. This king, Dhritarashtra's son, also bears fruit. He does not see that gambling leads to fearful enmity and that he is ripe, like one about to meet his destiny. No one should cause hurt or act cruelly, nor should one extract from one who is miserable. Words that cause pain and hurt others should not be uttered, because they lead to hell. From his lips a man utters words that hurt. The one stung by them burns night and day. Therefore, learned ones do not utter words that, unleashed on another, pierce the depths of his heart. When a weapon could not be found by pawing the ground, it is said that a goat dug up a weapon that was used to cut its own throat. Therefore, do not dig up an enmity with the sons of Pandu. No one speaks ill of the forest dweller or householder, but like dogs, the same men bark at the ascetic who is full of learning. Dhritarashtra's son does not know the crooked and terrible door that leads to hell. Dushasana and many others among the Kurus will follow him there through the route of gambling. Gourds may sink and stones may float. Boats may eternally be lost on the seas. But King Dhritarashtra's deluded son will not listen to my words, which are appropriate for him. It is certain that this will be the end of the Kurus, a terrible end that will lead to everyone's destruction. The words of Kavya and his well-wishers were apt. Kavya, that's another name for Shukracharya. But because greed has expanded, they are no longer listened to. 285. Vaishampayana said, Dhritarashtra's son was insolent with pride. He said, Kshatriya be damned. In the midst of all the revered ones in the assembly hall, he looked at the attendant and said, "Oh, Pratikaman, come in, go and bring Draupadi here. You have no reason to fear the Pandavas. It is only Kshatta who is scared and speaks to the contrary, but he never wishes that our prosperity should increase." Having heard the words of the king, the Suta attendant swiftly departed and went to the queen of the Pandavas, like a dog entering a lion's lair. The attendant said, "O Draupadi, Yudhishthira was intoxicated by gambling and has lost you to Duryodhana. O Yagyaseni, now come to Dhritarashtra's house. I must take you for the tasks you have to perform." Draupadi replied, "O Pratikamin, how can you speak like this? Can any prince stake his wife in a gamble? The king must have been deluded in his intoxication for the game. Could he not find anything else for the stake?" The attendant said, "Pandava Ajata Shatru offered you as a stake when there was nothing left at stake. The king had earlier staked his brothers and then himself. Oh, princess, he next staked you." Draupadi replied, "O son of a suitor, go back to the assembly hall and ask that gambler from the Bharata lineage whether he first lost himself or me. O son of a suitor, after having found this out, come back to me." He went to the assembly hall and repeated Draupadi's words. "Draupadi wants to know, whose lord were you when you lost me? Did you lose yourself first or me?" Yudhishthira sat there unmoved, like one who has lost his senses. He did not reply to the suitor in words that were either good or bad. Duryodhana said, "Let Panchali Krishna come here and ask the question herself. Let everyone in the Shabha hear what they have to say to each other." The attendant was in Duryodhana's service and went to the king's house. Footnote: Yudhishthira's house, since he was in Duryodhana's service, the attendant had no choice. End of footnote. Though miserable, the suitor told Draupadi, "O princess, those in the assembly hall are summoning you. It seems to me that the destruction of the Kurus is near. O princess, since that weak-minded one wants you in the Shabha, he will no longer be able to protect our prosperity." Draupadi replied, "The one who determines everything has destined this. Both the young and the old are touched thus. It has been said that Dharma is supreme in the worlds. If it is sustained, peace will be brought." O bull among the Bharata lineage, on hearing of Duryodhana's intentions, Yudhishthira sent a trusted messenger to Draupadi. Panchali was going through her menses then. She was weeping and clad in a single garment tied below the navel. She went to the Shabha and stood before her father-in-law, Dhritarashtra. Looking at the faces of the assembly, King Duryodhana delightedly told the suitor, "O Pratikamin, bring her here. Let her be in front of us, so that the Kauravas can speak to her." The suitor was in his servitude, but was scared of the wrath of Drupada's daughter. Giving up his pride, he told the assembly, "How can I speak to Krishna?" Duryodhana said, "O Dushashana, this son of a suitor has limited intelligence. He is frightened of Vrikodara. Go and bring Yagyaseni here yourself. Our rivals are now under our control. They can do nothing." Having heard his brother, the prince arose, Dushashana. His eyes were red with anger. He entered the house of those Maharatas and told Princess Draupadi, "O Panchali, O Krishna, you have been won by us. Look upon Duryodhana without any shame. O one with eyes like long lotus petals, you will now love the Kurus. You have been won in accordance with Dharma. Come to the Shabha. She arose in great distress and wiped her pale face with her hands. In distress, she ran to where the aged who was a bull among the Kurus, women were. Okay. Swiftly, the angry Dushashana rushed at her, letting out a great roar. The long, blue and flowing hair belonged to the wife of a lord of men and was now grabbed by him. At the time of the great Rajasuya sacrifice, the hair had been sprinkled with auspicious waters. The valor of the Pandavas was vanquished, and Dhritarashtra's son grabbed it with force. She had protectors, but was without a protector. Grabbing her by the long hair, Dushashana pulled and dragged her to the Shabha like a plantain tree buffeted by the wind. When she was thus dragged, she bent down her body and softly whispered, "It is the period of my menses now. O evil-minded one, I am only clad in a single garment. O you who are not an Arya, do not take me to the Shabha thus." But he forcibly grabbed her by the black hair and told Krishna, "Pray to Krishna and Jishnu and Hari and Nara." Jishnu meaning Arjuna. "Cry out for help, but I will take you. O Yagyaseni, this may be the time of your menses, but whether you are clad in a single garment or in no garments at all, you have been won at the game and are now a slave.
Wow.
One can sport with a slave as one desires." Her hair was dishevelled. As she was pulled around by Dushashana, her half garment had come loose. She burnt with shame and mortification. In a soft voice, Krishna whispered again, "There are those in the assembly hall who are learned in the sacred texts. They follow all the righteous rites and are all like Indra. All of them are my preceptors, or like them. I cannot stand before them in this fashion. O performer of evil deeds, O you who act as if you are not an Arya, do not strip me and do not debase me in this fashion. Even if all the gods with Indra became our allies, these princes will not pardon you. The great-souled son of Dharma always bases himself in Dharma. The ways of Dharma are subtle, and only the skilled can discern this. But despite the words of my Lord, I will not commit even a tiny offense or deviate from my own qualities. You are performing a most unworthy act by dragging me among the Kuru warriors when I am in my menses. There is no one here who will praise you for that, though there is no doubt that they have the same inclinations as you. Shame! The descendants of the Bharata lineage have lost their dharma and their knowledge of the ways of Kshatriyas. All the Kurus in the Shabha have witnessed the transgression of the dharma of the Kurus. There is certainly no longer substance in Drona, Bhishma, and in this great-souled one, probably Dhritarashtra, or maybe Vidura in the footnote. The foremost among the elders of the Kuru lineage have chosen to ignore this terrible transgression of Dharma by the king. The slender-waisted one thus piteously cried out and cast a scornful and sidelong glance at her angry husbands. The Pandavas were inflamed by that sidelong glance, and their bodies were filled with wrath. They didn't suffer that much from the loss of the kingdom, or the riches, or the chief jewels as they did from Krishna's sidelong glance, sidelong, angry, and miserable glance. On seeing Krishna look at her miserable husbands, Dushasana dragged her with even greater force, so that she almost lost her senses. He repeatedly called her slave and laughed uproariously. Karna was delighted at these words and approved of them by laughing out loudly. In similar fashion, Sobala, the king of Gandhara, that's Sakuni, applauded Dushasana's deed. Among all those who were present in the assembly hall, with the exception of these and Dhritarashtra's son, everyone was extremely miserable on seeing Krishna thus dragged into the Shabha. Bhishma said, "O fortunate one, since the ways of Dharma are subtle, I cannot properly resolve the question you have posed. One without property cannot stake the property of others, but women are always the property of their husbands. Yudhisthira will abandon the entire earth with its riches before he gives up truth. The Pandava has himself said this. He has been one. Therefore, I cannot resolve this issue. Sakuni has no equal in dice. Kunti's son has voluntarily played with him. The great souled one does not think he has resorted to deceit. Therefore, I cannot answer the question." Draupadi replied, "Though he is himself unskilled, the king was challenged in this sabha by those who are skilled, evil-minded and deceitful, those who love the game of dice. How can it be said he chose voluntarily? The pure-hearted and foremost one among the Kurus and the Pandavas was robbed of his senses by inclinations towards deceit. He had understood everything only after he had been won and after the gambling was over. In this assembly hall are Kurus, who are the lords of their sons and daughters-in-law. Let all of them examine my words and answer my question in the appropriate way." Thus spoke the one who was miserable and weeping, while glancing at her miserable husbands. Dushasana spoke many harsh, unpleasant, and rude words to her. Vrikodara watched her being dragged while she was in her menses and with her upper garments dishevelled. She did not deserve this. In extreme distress, he uttered words of anger to Yudhisthira. Mathura.
No, carry on. You can't just stop there. Bhima said.
All right. 286. As you wish.
Please.
Bhima said, "Oh, Yudhisthira, gamblers have many courtesans in their country, but they are kind even towards those, and do not stake them in gambling. In the gamble we have lost our enemies the riches and other excellent objects that the king of Kashi brought, the gems and other gifts that are the other lords of the earth brought, mounts, riches, armor, weapons, the kingdom, and even ourselves. Because you are our lord, my anger was not excited at all this, but I think you committed a most improper act in staking Draupadi. She did not deserve this. After obtaining the Pandavas, this maiden is suffering this despicable and cruel oppression from the Kauravas only because of your act. O king, it is because of her that my anger descends on you. I will burn your hands. O Sahadeva, bring the fire." Arjuna said, "Bhimasena, never before have you uttered words like these. The cruel enemies have destroyed your pride in Dharma. You should not make the desires of the enemy come true. Observe the supreme Dharma. According to Dharma, one should never cross one's elder brother. The king was challenged, and he followed the Dharma of Kshatriyas. He gambled because of the desires of the enemy. That is our great deed. Bhimasen replied, O Dhananjaya, had I not known that he had not done it for himself, I would forcibly have grasped his hands and burnt them in the blazing fire. Vaishampayana said, on seeing the Pandavas thus miserable and Panchali's affliction, Dhritarashtra's son Vikarna spoke these words, O kings, answer the question posed by Yagyaseni. If we do not decide on the question, we will certainly go to hell. Bhishma and Dhritarashtra, the eldest among the Kurus, are here, but they do not say anything, nor does the extremely intelligent Vidura, nor does Bharadwaja's son, Drona, the preceptor to all of us, nor does Kripa. Why don't these best among Brahmins answer the question? The lords of the earth have assembled here from all directions. Let them forget their desire and their anger and speak according to their own thoughts. O kings, reflect on the question that the beautiful Draupadi has repeatedly asked. Then answer as to which side of the issue you are on. Thus Vikarna repeatedly speak. Thus did Vikarna repeatedly speak to all those who were present in the assembly hall, but none of the lords of the earth present said anything good or bad. Vikarna again spoke to all the lords of the earth. He rubbed his hands against each other, sighed and said, O lords of the earth, O Kauravas, whether you say anything or not, I will tell you what I think is right. O best of men, it has been said that addiction to hunting, drinking, gambling, and sexual intercourse are the 4 vices of kings. The man who is addicted to these deviates from Dharma, and the world does not approve of these improper deeds. This son of Pandu was addicted to vice and challenged by deceitful gamblers, staked Draupadi. The unblemished one is common to all the Pandavas. Having first lost himself, the Pandava offered her as stake. Sobala, Sakuni, desirous of the stake, suggested Krishna. Reflecting on all these, I do not think she has been won. On hearing these words, a great roar arose from all those who were in the Shabha. They approved of Vikarna and censured Sobala. When the noise died down, Radheya, that's Karna, who was almost senseless with anger, gripped his lustrous arms and uttered these words, I have witnessed many distortions in Vikarna. Like fire destroys the block from which it has been kindled, his destruction will come from the fire he has created. Though urged by Krishna, those who are assembled here have not uttered a word. I considered that Drupada's daughter has been won in accordance with Dharma, and so do they. O son of Dhritarashtra, that's Vikarna, out of childishness, you alone are being torn to bits. Though but a child, you speak in this Shabha what should be spoken by elders. O Duryodhana's younger brother, do you not know the reality of what you do not know the reality of what Dharma is? Like one with limited intelligence, you proclaim that Krishna has not been won, when she has been won. O Dhritarashtra's son, how can you think that Krishna has not been won? In this Shabha, the eldest Pandava staked everything he possessed. O bull among the Bharata lineage, Draupadi is included in all his possessions. When Krishna has been won in accordance with Dharma, how can you think she has not been won? Draupadi was mentioned in the speech, and the Pandava approved. According to what reason do you then think she has not been won? If you think that bringing her into the Shabha when she is clad only in a single garment is against Dharma, listen to the words I have to say in response. O descendant of the Kuru lineage, It has been ordained by the gods that a woman should only have one husband. However, she submits to many, and it is therefore certain that she is a courtesan.
Ooh.
It is my view that there is nothing surprising in her being brought into the Shabha in a single garment, or even if she is naked. In accordance with Dharma, Sobala has won all the riches of the Pandavas possessed, including her and themselves. O Dushashana, this Vikarna is only a child, though he speaks words of wisdom. Strip away the garments from the Pandavas and Draupadi. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, on hearing these words, the Pandavas took off their upper garments and sat down in the Shabha. O king, then Dushashana forcibly tugged at Draupadi's garments. In front of everyone in the Shabha, he forcibly pulled. O Lord of the earth, as Draupadi's garment was being tugged away, another similar garment appeared every time. Footnote. The critical edition exercises some shlokas that exist in regional versions and in popular renderings of the story. Draupadi prayed to Krishna, and he ensured that Draupadi wasn't stripped. End of footnote. At this, a terrible uproar arose. All the assembled kings witnessed the most extraordinary sight in the worlds and approved. In the midst of the kings, Bhima then kneaded his hands, his lips trembling with rage. He cursed in a loud voice, "O Kshatriyas! O those who live in this world! Hear these words of mine, never before uttered by any man and never to be uttered in the future. O lords of the earth, having uttered these words, if I do not act accordingly, may I never tread on the path followed by my forefathers. In battle, I will forcibly tear asunder the breast of this evil, misguided one, wretch among the Bharatas, and drink his blood." On hearing these words, all the worlds were delighted. They worshipped him a lot and reviled Dhritarashtra's son. When the mass of garments was piled up in the middle of the Sabha, Dushashana became tired and ashamed and finally sat down. On seeing the sons of Kunti in that state, all the gods and men in the Shabha raised cries of shame, so that the hair on the body stood up. The people shouted, "The Kauravas do not answer the question," and censured Dhritarashtra. Then Vidura, learned in all the ways of Dharma, raised his arms and silenced those who were in the assembly hall. He spoke these words: "Having raised the question, Draupadi now weeps like one without a protector. If those who are in the Shabha do not answer the question, Dharma will be oppressed. Like a blazing fire, one in distress comes to this Sabha. Those who are in the Shabha pacify him through true Dharma. When a man in distress asks a question about Dharma, those in the Shabha must answer that question without being driven by desire or anger. O lords of men, Vikarna has answered the question in accordance with what he thinks. You should also answer the question as you deem fit. If one seated in the assembly hall does not answer the question, even though he knows about Dharma, he incurs half the demerit that comes from lying. And if one is seated in the assembly hall and answers the question falsely, even though he knows about Dharma, he certainly incurs the complete demerit that comes from lying. In this context, the learned ones quote an ancient conversation that took place between Prahlada and the sage who was the son of Angirasa. Vidura said, Prahlad was the king of the Daityas, and his son was Virochana. For the sake of a maiden, he quarrelled with Sudanva, the son of Angirasa. We have heard that out of desire for the maiden, they wagered their lives, each claiming that he was superior. When they were thus debating, they asked Prahlad, "Who among us is superior? Answer the question and do not lie." He was scared of this dispute and looked at Sudanva as flaming in the curse of a Brahmin. Sudanva angrily told him, "O Prahlad, if you utter a lie, or if you do not answer at all, the wielder of the Vajra will use the Vajra to splinter your head into 100 parts." When Sudanva spoke these words, the Daitya trembled like the leaf of a fig tree. He went to the immensely energetic Kashyapa to consult him. Prahlad said, "O illustrious one, you are learned in the ways of Dharma. For the gods, the demons, and the Brahmins, listen to this problem and tell me what Dharma is. Please tell me, because I am asking you. In the hereafter, what worlds are attained?"
In the middle of our Zoom session, Mahabharata. And so, yeah. It's going to go on till 9. Why don't you join? Why don't you join? It's fantastic.
Oh, there's no internet here. We pushed it.
Oh, shit. But anyway, look, maybe after later.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay, man. Hurry on. Yeah.
So, in the hereafter, what worlds are attained by one who does not answer a question or answers it falsely? Kashyapa answered, "He who knows the answer to a question but does not answer it out of desire, anger, or fear brings upon himself 1,000 of Varuna's nooses. It takes an entire year for one of these nooses to be loosened. Therefore, one who knows the truth should speak the truth openly. When Dharma is pierced with what is not Dharma, it goes to a Shabha, and those who are in the assembly hall do not take out the dart, it will pierce them. In a Shabha where an act of censure is not condemned, half the demerit is attached to the head of that assembly, 1/4 to the culprit and 1/4 to those who do not condemn it. On the other hand, in a Shabha where an act of censure is condemned, the head is free of sin, and so are the ones assembled there. The demerit descends on the perpetrator. O Prahlada, those who answer falsely to a question asked about Dharma destroy the merits of good deeds for 7 generations of ancestors and 7 generations of descendants. The grief of one whose property has been stolen, whose son has been killed, who has lost all in debt, who has been extorted by the king, or of a woman who has no husband, or for one distanced from his companions, or the misery of a co-wife, or of one deprived because of witnesses. The Lord of the 30 gods has declared these miseries to be equal. He who speaks falsely obtains all these miseries. One becomes a witness because of what he has directly seen, heard, or understood. Therefore, a witness who speaks the truth never deviates from Dharma and Artha. Having heard Kashyapa's words, Prahlad spoke to his son. "Sudanva is superior to you, just as Angirasa is superior to me. Sudanva's mother is superior to your mother. O Virochana, Sudanva is the lord of your life." Sudanva replied, "Since you have not deviated from the Dharma out of affection towards your son, I set your son free and he will live for 100 years. Hearing this about supreme Dharma, let all those who are in this Sabha reflect upon the supreme answer to Krishna's question." Vaishampayana said, on hearing Vidura's words, None of the kings uttered a single word. Karna told Dushasana, "Take Krishna away to the quarters meant for the servant girls." The ascetic lady was trembling in shame and complained to the Pandavas when Dushasana dragged her in the middle of the Sabha. Haribol.
Haribol. Wow.
That was brilliant.
Wow, fantastic. You really did that. All the parts. I was so in there.
Yeah.
That's a good bit of, I think it was one of your best.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're in the
So
zone there.
you really got into each character, and it's
Definitely.
like, wow, God, I've never, I know the Lloyd Leela, of course we do, but I've never heard the real thing.
The details. Yeah.
Wow. It's so dramatic and so, I mean,
Well,
well, it's just, we already had, the Swayamvara and the whole thing with her, and that was like anybody from the universe who wanted a beautiful, the best woman, they were there to have her. And now there she is in front of them all again, and this epic thing at the center of it all. Wow,
oh,
it's
Madhava's here as well.
ah, Haribol. Okay,
Right round.
there's.
Well, are you going to carry on then, Masura?
I think it's time for me to do it. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
I'm gonna mute up then.
Okay, I'm going to start now. Just going to get tuning in. So wait a minute. Just let we Which page are we on now again? 238.
Yes.
Yeah, 28762. Yeah, just checking. Okay. Just put a bit more light. Okay, here we go. 28762, the Mahabharata Dutaparva. Draupadi said, I have a duty to perform, an act that I had not performed earlier, because dragged through the force of this powerful one, I had lost my senses. I offer my homage to all my superiors who are in this assembly of Kurus. Let it not be my crime that I have not done this before. Vaishampayana said, dragged with even greater force, the ascetic lady was even more miserable. She did not deserve this. She fell down on the ground and lamented in the Sabha. Draupadi said, the assembled kings set their eyes on me in the arena of the Swayamvara. Until being brought to this Sabha, I have never been seen by anyone since, anywhere. Isn't that amazing? I was just saying that. One who has earlier not seen the wind or the sun in her house has today been seen by this assembly of Kurus in the middle of the Sabha. Earlier, the Pandavas have not allowed the wind to touch me in my house. They now bear it when I am touched by this evil-hearted one. Time has deviated. The Kurus permit their daughter and daughter-in-law unworthy of such treatment to be thus oppressed. Earlier, it had been heard that pure and chaste wives were not brought into the middle of a Sabha. Where is the Dharma of the lords of the earth? According to Dharma, it has earlier been heard that wives are not brought into an assembly hall, that earlier eternal Dharma has been lost among the Kauravas. How is it that the chaste wife of the Pandus, sister of Parshata's son and friend to Vasudeva, has been brought into this assembly of kings? O Kauravas, I am Dharmaraj's wife, and I was born in the same Varna as he. Tell me whether I am a slave or not a slave, and I will act accordingly. O Kauravas, this mean one, this bringer of ill repute to the Kauravas, is firmly molesting me, and I cannot bear it any longer. O king, O Kauravas, I want you to answer whatever you may think, and I will act accordingly. I have been one, or have I been one, or have I not been one? Bhishma replied, O fortunate one, I have already said that the course of Dharma is supreme. Even the great-souled brahmanas in this world are incapable of comprehending its course. When a powerful man uses force, that is perceived as dharma by the world. But if a feeble one speaks about dharma, that is not regarded as dharma by others. I am incapable of answering your question, certainly. The issue is subtle, deep, complicated, and important. It is certain that all the Kurus have become addicted to avarice and delusion. Without a doubt, the destruction of the lineage will occur soon. O fortunate one, the lineage into which you have been born and the one in which you are established as a daughter-in-law never deviates from the path of Dharma, regardless of the disaster that may befall. O Panchali, since you look at Dharma, even though you are suffering, it is conduct that you yourself follow. Drona and the other elders, knowledgeable in Dharma, sit here with lowered heads, as if their bodies are hollow. It is my view that Yudhisthira is the supreme authority on the question. He should himself say whether you have been won or have not been won. Vaishampayana said, the kings who were there were scared of Dhritarashtra's son. They said nothing good or bad, though they witnessed these many events and saw her crying like a female offspring that has been hurt. On seeing that the sons and grandsons of the kings were silent, Dhritarashtra's son smiled and spoke these words to the daughter of the king of Panchala. O Yagyaseni, let the question now be placed before the immensely powerful Bhima, Arjuna, Sahadev, and your husband Nakula. Let them reply to your words. O Panchali, let them declare before all the Aryas that Yudhisthira is not your lord. They must divide Dharmaraj as a liar. You will be freed from servitude. The great-souled son of Dharma is always established in Dharma. He is the equal of Indra. Let him himself declare whether he is your lord or not. When he has spoken, you may quickly decide whom to love. All the Kauravas who are in the Sabha are immersed in your affliction. Though they are Aryas at heart, they cannot appropriately resolve the issue. They therefore look to your husbands for an answer. Hearing these words of the king of the Kurus, all those who were present in the assembly loudly applauded him. Some happily waved their garments. But sounds of alas were also heard. On hearing these pleasant words, all the kings in the assembly applauded the righteous act of the foremost among the Kurus. Turning their faces, all the kings looked at Yudhisthira. He was learned in the principles of Dharma. What would he say? What would Bibatsu, the Pandava who was undefeated in battle, say? What would Bhimasena and the twins say? They were curious and wondered. When the noise had died down, Bhimasena grasped his large arms, smeared with sandal paste, and spoke. Had Dharmaraj Yudhisthira not been our superior, and had he not been lord of our lineage, we would not have tolerated this. He owns the merit of our austerities, and he is even the lord of our lives. If he considers himself to have been won, then all of us have been won. But for that, no one who walks the ground of the earth with his feet would have escaped with his life after touching Panchali's hair. Look at my long and rounded arms like iron clubs. Once inside them, not even Shatakratu can escape. But bound in the noose of Dharma out of respect for him and restrained by Arjuna, I'm not doing anything dreadful. If I am once freed by Dharmaraj, I will make my arms perform the acts of swords and kill these evil sons of Dhritarashtra. the way a lion kills small animals. At that, Bhishma, Drona, and Vidura spoke and said, "Restrain yourself. With you, everything is possible." Karna said, "There are three who own no property, a slave, a student, and a woman. O fortunate one, you are the wife of a slave and have nothing of your own. You have no lord and are like the property of slaves. Enter and serve us. That is the task for you in this household. O princess, all the sons of Dhritarashtra are now your masters, and not the sons of Pritha. O beautiful one, choose another one for your husband, one who will not make you a slave through gambling. Remember the eternal rule among slaves: sexual acts with one's masters are never censured. Nakula, Bhimasena, Yudhisthira, Sahadeva, and Arjuna have been won over. O Yajnaseni, enter as a slave. The ones who have been won over can no longer be your husbands. Valor and virility are of no use to Partha now. In the middle of the Shabda he has gambled away the daughter of Dropada, the king of Panchala. Vaishampayana said, on hearing these words, Bhimasena couldn't bear it any more. Like a man tormented, he breathed deeply, but he was devoted to the king and tied down in the noose of Dharma. He tried to burn him down with the anger in his eye. Bhima said, I cannot be angry at the words of the son of a suitor. It is truly the case that the Dharma of slaves is upon us, O Lord of men. Our enemies would not have dared hold me down had you not staked her. Hearing Radeya's words, King Duryodhana then spoke to Yudhisthira, who sat silent as if he had lost his senses. Ooh. O king, Bhima, Arjuna, and the twins always follow your instructions. Answer the questions as to whether you think Krishna has been won. Having thus spoken to Kunteya, he became insolent with arrogance. He looked invitingly at Panchali and grasped his garment. Smiling at Radeya and tormenting Bhima, he exposed his left thigh to Draupadi, who was looking at him. It was like the stem of a plantain tree, like the trunk of an elephant, as proud as the Rajram was marked with the auspicious signs. On witnessing this, Vrikrodra enlarged his red eyes. Among all the kings in the Shabda, he spoke to them in compelling words. If he fails to break that thigh with a club in the great battle, let Vrikrodra not go to the worlds where his ancestors have gone. When he was thus enraged, sparks of fire issued out of every opening in his body, as if from the hollow of a tree that is on fire. Vidura said, O kings, look out for the extreme danger that emanates from Bhimasena. Watch, for this is like Varuna's noose. The great calamity that the gods had destined for the descendants of the Bharat lineage in ancient times has come to pass. Dhritarashtra's sons have transgressed in gambling. They are now quarrelling about a lady in a Sabha. There is great danger to what you have already obtained and what you wish to obtain. The counsel of the Kurus is now based on evil advice. O Kurus, know this to be karma. If it is wrongly diagnosed, this entire assembly will be tainted. If this gambler had staked her before, he would not have been won and would have still been her master. But if a man puts up a stake when he is not the lord of anything, winning that stake is like obtaining riches in a dream. O Kurus, you have listened to Gandhari's son, but do not deviate from the path of Dharma. Duryodhana responded, I am willing to abide by Bhima's words, Arjuna's words, and the words of the twins, O Yajnaseni. If they say that Yudhisthira wasn't their lord, then you will be freed from slavery. Arjuna said, this great-souled king, Dharmaraj, Kunti's son, was certainly our master when he first played with us as stake. But whose lord was he once he had lost himself? O assembled Kurus, all of you should decide that. Vaishampayana said, at that time, In King Dhritarashtra's house, a jackal cried at the Agnihotra. O king, donkeys brayed in response, and from every direction terrible birds joined in. Vidura, who was knowledgeable in everything, heard these terrible sounds, and so did Subal's daughter. Bhimashena, Drona, and the learned Gautama heard, and said, Peace, peace, Shanti, Shanti. On hearing those terrible omens, Gandhari and the learned Vidura became miserable and told the king. Then the king spoke these words. O evil-minded Duryodhana, you have been destroyed. In this assembly hall of the bulls among the Kurus in this Sabha, you have used insolent words against a woman, especially a lawfully wedded wife like Draupadi. Having spoken these words, the intelligent Dhritarashtra stopped, for he was concerned about the welfare of his relatives. Using his knowledge and intelligence, he spoke these words so as to pacify Krishna Panchali. The Dhritarashtra said, O Panchali, choose from me whatever boon you desire. You're a chaste lady who follows supreme dharma, and you are the most special of my daughters-in-law. Draupadi replied, O bull among the Bharata lineage, if you wish to grant me a boon, I will choose this. The illustrious Yudhisthira, who follows all the ways of dharma, should not be a slave. Those young boys who do not know of Prithivindya's intelligence, referencing him as the son of a slave when he arrives. He has been the son of a king earlier, like no man anywhere and ever. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, he will die if he is brought up as the son of a slave. I'm just coming to the big Kanai, and you can take over. Dhritarashtra said, O fortunate one, ask for the second boon from me, and I will grant it to you. My heart has convinced me that you do not deserve to obtain only a single boon. Draupadi replied, With my second boon, I desire that Bhimashena, Dhananjaya, Nakula, and Sahadev, together with their chariots and their bows, should not be slaves. Dhritarashtra said, O one who always follows the path of righteousness, 2 boons do not honor you enough. Ask for a third. I love this. It's so classic. You are the best among all my daughters. No. Draupadi replied, O illustrious one, avarice destroys dharma, and I am disinclined. Wow. O supreme among kings, I am not deserving of a third boon from you. It is said that the Vaishya has 1 boon, and a Kshatriya and his wife can have 2. O Indra among kings, a king can have 3 boons, and a Brahmana 100. O king, my husbands were reduced to an evil state, but have not been rescued. They will obtain riches and prosperity through their own sacred deeds. Ah, she's preserving their honor. Wow. Okay, Kanai, please. That was a change in the story. Well, that was a relief. Good old Dhritarashtra.
Amazing.
He does flip aside, isn't he? He's just like, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Dhritarashtra's he's in a bind.
Yeah.
Yes, to say the least.
Constantly.
Yeah, constantly. But you have to have it in that because he creates the unpredictability.
Mm.
Yeah, and it gives you that scenes. You can get all the baddie scenes and all the conspiracy and the psychophancy. It's all very important because that's actually what happens in courts and stuff everywhere, you know. Okay, take it away.
Right, so these Draupadi and the boons. 289. Karna said, Among all women in humankind, renowned for their beauty, we have not seen nor heard of the accomplishment of such a deed. When the sons of Pritha and the sons of Dhritarashtra were raging in anger, Krishna Draupadi brought solace. The sons of Pandu were immersed and drowning in an ocean without a boat. Panchali became their boat and brought them safely ashore. Vaishampayana said, Having heard the words that a woman had become the salvation for the sons of Pandu, Bhimasen was extremely hurt. In the midst of the Kurus, he said unhappily, Devala has said that there are 3 stars for a man, offspring, deeds, and learning, since these are the source of creation. When the body has lost life and is hollow and impure, discarded by relatives, these are the 3 that survive. But our light has become dark because our wife has been humiliated. O Dhananjaya, how can offspring from a defiled one serve any purpose? Arjun replied, the Bharatas do not talk about words from inferior men, uttered or not uttered. They only converse about those from superior men. They remember good deeds, and not enmity that has been shown. They know only the good because they have confidence in their own selves. Bhima said, right now, I will kill all the enemies who have assembled here. O Indra among kings. So now, the footnote here is Bhima is addressing Yudhishthira. O Indra among kings, O descendant of the Bharata lineage, shall I tear them up by their roots? O descendant of the Bharata lineage, where is the need to debate this or suffer? Here and now, I am going to kill all of them, and you can rule the earth without a rival. Having said this, Bhimasen, surrounded by his younger brothers, glanced at his club, like a lion in the midst of deer. Partha, whose deeds are unblemished, that's Arjuna, pacified him and cooled him. But the mighty armed and valorous one streamed with anger. O Lord of men, he was so angry that smoke, sparks, and flaming fire issued from his ears and other openings in his body. His brows were furrowed, and his face was terrible to behold, like Yama's form when destruction at the end of a yuga is near. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, Yudhishthira restrained the mighty armed one with his arms. He told him not to act in this way and to be quiet. Having restrained the mighty armed one, whose eyes were red with anger, Yudhishthira approached his father Dhritarashtra, his hands joined in salutation. 290. Yudhishthira said, sorry if you can hear that dog barking. Yudhishthira said, O king, you are our lord. Command us as to what we should do. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, we have always desired to be established under your rule. Dhritarashtra replied, O Ajatashatru, be fortunate. Go in peace and safety. On my instructions, rule your kingdom with your riches, but bear in mind the instructions that I, an old man, am giving. I have reflected on this, and it is the supreme medication for welfare. O Yudhishthira, O son, you know the subtle path of Dharma. You are humble, immensely wise, and serve your superiors. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, where there is intelligence, there is peace. Therefore, tread the path of serenity. A weapon does not cut what is not wood, but it does cut wood. Supreme men do not indulge in hostilities. They do not know enmity and see good qualities, leaving out bad qualities. O Yudhishthira, it is only the worst among men who use harsh words in a quarrel. Those who are average reply to such words, but the supreme among men never respond. Supreme men never converse about ill words, whether they are uttered or not uttered by inferior men. This is a repetition of what Arjun said. Footnote. They only remember good deeds and not deeds resulting from enmity. They only know the good because they have confidence in their own selves. In this assembly of good people, you have shown the character of an Arya. O son, do not take to your heart Duryodhana's harshness. Look at your mother Gandhari and me. We crave for your good qualities. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, look at your old and blind father present before you. I wished to see my friends and judge the strengths and weaknesses of my sons. It was from this desire that I had earlier allowed the gambling match to take place. O king, there is no reason to feel sorry for the Kurus whom you rule. The intelligent Vidura, knowledgeable in all the sacred texts, is your advisor. There is Dharma in you, Valor in Arjun, strength in Bhimasen, and respect and service towards superior in the twins, foremost among men. O Ajatashatru, be fortunate. Return to Kandava Prastha. Let there be fraternal love with your brothers. May your mind always be established in Dharma. Vaishampayana said, hearing these words, Dharmaraj Yudhisthira, supreme among those of the Bharata lineage, performed all the deeds that were appropriate for the occasion and left with his brothers. With Krishna, Draupadi, they left in chariots that were like the clouds. In a happy frame of mind, they left for Indraprastha, supreme among cities. Section 28, Anudyuta Parva. This section has 232 shlokas and 7 chapters. As has been mentioned in the earlier section, the word duta means playing or gambling with dice, and also the resultant prize. The word anu means after, behind, or in consequence of. So this section is about the aftermath, the gambling match. 291.
That was a very good happy ending though, wasn't it?
Yeah, did Draupadi leave with Yudhisthira in the end then? Just
Yeah,
they
I was
returned,
just
okay.
going to, I'd like to just add one thing there to that footnote.
Please. Yeah.
Yeah, the anudyuta means actually the subsequent gambling.
Oh,
So there's
okay.
more gambling.
All right. But yeah.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, but Draupadi there left with Yudhisthira back to his kingdom, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all free and they've gone home.
All right. Thank God for that.
Yeah. Okay, next
All right,
event.
sorry, I'm being silly. All right, let me carry on. The subsequent gambling, Anajuta Parva, 291. Janamejaya asked, when they learnt that the Pandavas had been granted permission to leave with their gems, riches, and treasures, what was the state of mind of Dhritarashtra's sons? Vaishampayana said, O king, when he found out that the intelligent Dhritarashtra had given the permission, Dushasan swiftly went to his brother, a bull among the Bharata lineage. On arriving before Duryodhana and his advisers, the foremost of the Bharatas spoke these miserable words. That would be, so that's Dushasan. O Maharatas, that old man has made us lose everything that we had obtained with great difficulty. He has given those subjects to our enemies. Then the proud Duryodhana, Karna, and Sobala Shakuni got together and plotted against the Pandavas. They went to the intelligent King Dhritarashtra, Vichitravirya's son, and spoke to him these conciliatory words. Duryodhana said, O king, have you not heard what Brihaspati, the learned priest of the gods, told Shakra about policy? O destroyer of enemies, enemies must be killed through every means possible before they cause harm through war or force. We should offer homage to all the kings through riches obtained from the Pandavas. If we fight with them thereafter, what reversal can befall us? If one places angry and venomous snakes that bring destruction on one's back and neck, how can one get rid of them? Oh, Father, the angry Pandavas will ride on chariots and hold their weapons. In their rage, they will destroy us like venomous serpents. Arjuna is attired in armor and has grasped his two supreme quivers. He is frequently picking up the Gandiva, breathing heavily and glancing around. We have heard that Vrikodara has swiftly raised his giant club and is riding on a chariot that has been yoked. Nakula has his sword and the shield marked with the signs of 8 moons. Sahadev and the king, Yudhishthir, have made their intentions clear through their gestures. They have ascended chariots that are stocked with many different kinds of arms. They have whipped up the teams of chariots and are ready to employ armies. We have caused them offense, and they will not pardon us. Who among them will forgive Draupadi's oppression? O bull among the Bharata lineage, be fortunate. We must again gamble with the Pandavas so as to send them to the forest. In this way, we will be able to bring them under our sway. Either they or we will be defeated in the gambling with dice and attired in deerskin. Will enter the great forest for 12 years. The 13th year will have to be spent in an inhabited place, in disguise. If one is recognized, one will again have to go to the forest for 12 years. Either they or we will live here. Therefore, let the gamble begin. Let the dice be thrown again, and let the Pandavas play. O king, O bull among the Bharata lineage, this is the most important task for us. This Shakuni is skilled and possesses all the knowledge about the secrets of dice. We will be firmly established in the kingdom, and we will have alliances. We will gather a vast, brave, and invincible army and keep it content. O king, O scorcher of enemies, if they survive the vow after 13 years, we will be able to defeat them. Let this find pleasure with you. Dhritarashtra replied, Then immediately bring them back, even if they have gone a long distance away. Let the Pandavas return and gamble with the dice again. Vaishampayana said, Then Drona, Somadatta, the Mahabharata Balika, Vidura, Drona's son Ashvatham, valorous son of the Vaishya, Burishrav, Shantanu's son, who is Bhishma, and Maharata Vikarna collectively said, Don't have the gamble, let there be peace. But Dhritarashtra loved his son and ignored the desires of these well-wishers, all of whom could foresee the consequences. He summoned the Pandavas. O great king, Gandhari was always united with Dharma. She was miserable because of affection towards her sons and spoke to Dhritarashtra, lord of the people. When Duryodhana was born, the immensely intelligent Kshatta, Vidura, told us that it would be better to send this destroyer of the lineage to the other world. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, as soon as he was born, he howled like a jackal. O Kurus, listen to this. He will be the destroyer of the lineage. O Lord, do not listen to the views of these wicked ones who are nothing but children. Do not become the cause for the terrible destruction of the lineage. Who will breach a dam that has been constructed? Who will rekindle dying fire? O descendant of the Bharata lineage, the sons of Pritha are now established in peace. Who would want to anger them? O Ajamita, you remember, but I am reminding you again, either in good or in evil deeds, the sacred texts cannot instruct those who are evil in intelligence. O king, nor will one with the intelligence of a child ever attain the wisdom of age. You should yourself be the leader to your sons. Let them not be torn apart from you. Let peace, dharma, the counsel of others, and natural intelligence be your principles in framing policy. Prosperity built through cruelty is destroyed. If it is gently nurtured, it grows old and passes to sons and grandsons. Having been thus addressed by Gandhari, who had seen the way of Dharma, the great king replied, "It is certain that if the destruction of our lineage has come, I will not be able to prevent it. Let it be as they wish. Let the Pandavas return. Let those who are mine gamble again with the Pandavas." 292. Vaishampayana said, on the intelligent king Dhritarashtra's command, a Pratikamin spoke to Partha Yudhishthir, who had already gone a long distance away. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, your father has said that the Shabha has been covered with carpets. O king, O Pandava, the dice are ready. Come and play. Yudhishthir replied, following the decisions of the Creator, all beings attain good and evil. Even if I do not play again, neither can be prevented. This summon to gamble with the dice is the Old One's command, reference to Dhritarashtra. Though I know that it will lead to ruin, I cannot disobey the command. Having uttered these words, the Pandava returned with his brothers. Though he knew Shakuni's resort to Maya, Partha returned to gamble. Paining the hearts of their well-wishers, those Maharatas, bulls among the Bharata lineage, again entered the Shabha. They once again seated themselves, ready to gamble, ordained by destiny in the destruction of all the worlds. Shakuni said, O bull among the Bharata lineage, the Old One returned all your riches, and I worship him for that. But listen to me, because there is one more stake with great riches. If we are defeated by you in gambling, we will enter the great forest for 12 years. We will wear the skins of Ruru deer and spend the 13th year in disguise, but in inhabited places. If recognized, we will return to the forest for another 12 years. But if you are defeated by us, together with Krishna, you will live in the forest for 12 years, clad in deerskin. I'm presuming that means that's Draupadi Krishna. I don't know. Presuming is.
Yes, it is.
All right, yeah, cool, yeah. You will live in the forest for 12 years, clad in deerskin. When the 13th year is over, as is proper, each will obtain his own kingdom back. O Yudhishthir, O descendant of the Bharata lineage, with this stake, let us ready the dice and play another gamble with us. Those who were in the Shabha said, alas, why can't his relatives make him understand the great danger? The intelligent can understand this, but the bulls among the Bharatas do not understand it. Vaishampayana said, Partha, lord of men, heard the remarks of the people, but from shame and from his sense of dharma, again began to play with dice. The immensely intelligent one knew, but returned to the game, thinking about whether this would lead to the destruction of the Kurus. Yudhisthira said, I am a king who always follows his own dharma. How can I not return when challenged? O Shakuni, I will play with you. Shakuni replied, O Pandavas, ignore cattle, horses, many milch cows, innumerable sheep and goats, elephants, treasuries, gold, and all the female and male slaves. There is a single stake of exile in the forest. Whether you or we lose, we will live in the forest. Wait a minute. There is a single stake of exile in the forest. Whether you or we lose, we will live in the forest. O bull among the Bharata lineage, this is the stake with which we will play. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, there is one throw of the dice for a life in the forest. Partha accepted the challenge, and Sobala gathered the dice. Shakuni told Yudhisthira, I have won. 293. Vaishampayana said, having been defeated, the sons of Pritha began to prepare for exile in the forest. One after another, they dressed themselves in deerskins and upper garments. Those destroyers of enemies had lost their kingdom and were attired in deerskin. On seeing them ready to leave for the forest, Dushashan said, the wheel has now begun to turn for the great-souled king, Dhritarashtra's son. The Pandavas have been vanquished and have attained supreme misery. Today, the gods have come to us along with their smooth celestial roots. We have become elders to our enemies in qualities. They're elders and more numerous than they are. The Pandavas have descended into hell for a long time, for eternity. They have fallen from happiness and have lost their kingdom, destroyed for an eternity. The Pandavas were intoxicated with their strength and laughed at the sons of Dhritarashtra. They have been defeated and have lost their riches. They must go to the forest. They have to give up their multicolored armor and their divine and radiant garments. All of them must now put on the skins of Ruru deer. They have accepted to state that Sobala offered. Their minds were always nourished by the thought that there were no men like them in the world. But today, the Pandavas will know themselves in adversity, like sesame seeds that are barren. O Kodava, addressing Yudhisthira, your stay will not be like that of great-minded ones. The deerskins of the powerful Pandavas have not been consecrated. Yagnasen was the immensely intelligent descendant of Somaka. He gave his daughter Panchali to the Pandavas. That was not a deed well done, because the Parthas, husbands of Yagyaseni, are impotent. O Yagyaseni, what pleasure will you derive, since those dressed in fine garments are now reduced to deerskins in the forest, without riches and without homes? Choose a husband who will bring you pleasure. All the Kurus who are assembled here are forbearing and self-controlled, and have no dearth of riches. Choose one of them as your husband, so that you do not suffer from this change in fortune. All the Pandavas are now like sesame seeds without kernels, or deer that only have skin on them. They are like barren corn. Why do you show homage to the Pandavas who have fallen? Serving sterile sesame seeds is a waste of labor. Dhritarashtra's son uttered these cruel and harsh words in the hearing of the Parthas. Having heard these words, the impetuous Bhimasen suppressed his anger. Like a Himalayan lion dashing at a jackal, he suddenly approached him and loudly rebuked him. Bhima to Dushasan, O cruel and evil one, you utter words that lead to failure. You are boasting among these kings because of the skills of Gandhara, Shakuni. Just as your words pierce our hearts like arrows, I will make you remember all this when I pierce your heart in battle. I will send to Yama's abode all those who are your followers and protectors because of desire and avarice, together with all their relatives. Clad in his deerskin, Bhima uttered these angry words. But though immersed in grief, he stuck to the path of Dharma. The other one, Dushashan, had no shame. He danced around in the middle of the Kurus and challenged him, calling him a cow. Bhimasen said, "O Dushashan, cruel, harsh, and rough words are possible for you. Who else will boast of riches obtained through deceit? If he does not rip apart your breast and drink your blood in battle, Partha Vrikodara will not go to the worlds attained by those with good deeds. In front of all the archers, I will kill the sons of Dhritarashtra in battle. I tell you truthfully that it is only after this I will go to the, that is only after this killing, or the killing, that I will go to the abode of peace." When the Pandavas were leaving the Shabha, the evil king Duryodhana, in play and delight, sought to mimic through his own steps Bhimasen's leonine gait. At that, Vrikodara half turned his body towards him and said, "Oh, stupid one, this will not make you successful. I will soon kill you with your relatives and give you my response by reminding you of this." Powerful and proud Bhima witnessed this insult to himself, but controlled his anger. Following the king in the assembly of Kurus, as King Yudhisthira, he spoke these words and went out. "I will be the slayer of Duryodhana. Dhananjaya will be the slayer of Karna. Sahadev will kill Shakuni, the deceitful one with dice. In the midst of this Shabha, I will once again utter the words of grave and solemn import. The gods will surely make this true when there is a war between us. I will kill Suyodan, that's Duryodhana, with a club in battle. I will press down his head on the ground with my foot. As for this evil-hearted and cruel Dushasan, whose valor is in his words, I will drink his blood like the king of deer." Arjuna said, "The truthful Bhima's resolutions are not known only in words. In the 14th year, what is going to occur will be witnessed. The earth will drink the blood of Duryodhana, Karna, the evil-hearted Shakuni, and Dushasan as the fourth. O Bhimasen, on your instructions, I will kill in battle this jealous Karna, who uses his eloquence to praise the wicked." For giving pleasure to Bhima, this is what Arjuna swears. "In battle, I will kill Karna and Karna's followers with my arrows. With my sharp arrows, I will send to Yama's abode all those other kings who will fight with me out of their folly. Let the Himalayas move from where they are established. Let the sun be dimmed. Let coolness be destroyed from the moon, if I deviate from this vow. In the 14th year, if Duryodhana does not restore the kingdom to us with proper honor, all this will certainly happen."
Wow.
Vaishampayana said, "When Partha said this, Sahadev, Madri's handsome and powerful son, grasped his own large arms. His eyes were red with anger, and he sighed like a serpent. Desiring to kill Sobala, he uttered these words, 'O foolish one, O destroyer of the fame of Gandhara, what you thought were dice are not dice, but sharp arrows that you have invited in battle. For you and your relatives, I will certainly accomplish what Bhima has said. I will do what I have to do, and you can do everything that you wish to do. O Sobala, I will overpower you and swiftly kill you in battle with your relatives if you stay and fight in accordance with the Dharma of the Kshatriyas. O Lord of the world, on hearing Sahadev's words, Nakula, the most handsome among men, uttered his words. At this gambling match, Dhritarashtra's sons have used harsh and insulting words towards Yajnaseni, so as to bring pleasure to Duryodhana. These sons of Dhritarashtra are evil and summoned by destiny are soon to die. In their great numbers I will show them the abode of Vivasvat, Yama's name. On Dharmaraj's instructions and following Draupadi's footsteps, I will soon relieve the earth of the sons of Dhritarashtra. Having...
Jai. No,
yeah.
It's, I think, Braja next.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know, I can see he's ready. I've just got one more sentence.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were there. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, no, yeah. Having extended their arms to take these many oaths, all these tigers among men went to Dhritarashtra.
Wow.
Jay.
Jay, wow.
Hariom.
That was so dramatic,
well.
wasn't it? Well read.
Yes, really good.
Well read. That was really good. I enjoyed
Oh,
it.
thank you. Yeah.
294. Yudhishthira said, I bid farewell to all the descendants of the Bharata lineage, my old grandfather, Bhishma, King Somadatta, and the great King Balika, and to Drona, Kripa, all the other kings, Ashvatthama, Vidura, Dhritarashtra, and to all of Dhritarashtra's sons, and to Yuyutsu, Sanjaya, and all the others who are in this assembly. I am bidding farewell to all of you before I go. I will no doubt see you again on my return. Vishampayana said, out of shame, the righteous ones who were there could not say a word to Yudhishthir, but in their minds they wished for the welfare of the intelligent one. Vidura said, Arya Prita, Kunti, is a princess. She should not go to the forest. She is delicate and old, and has always been used to comfort. The illustrious one will remain in my house and be shown proper homage. O Parthas, know this, and may you have welfare in every way. O Yudhishthir, O bull among the Bharata lineage, know this to be my view that one who has been vanquished against Dharma never suffers from that defeat. You know Dharma. Dhananjaya is knowledgeable in war. Bhimsen is a slayer of enemies. Nakula is one who collects wealth. Sahadev is the one who administers. Domya is supreme among those who know the Brahman. Draupadi always follows the path of Dharma and is skilled in the ways of Dharma and Artha. You love one another and always have kind words for each other. Because you are satisfied, you cannot be divided by enemies. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, this tranquility brings welfare of every kind. No enemy can attack it, even if he is the equal of Shakra, Indra. In ancient times, when you lived in the Himalayas, Meru Savarni, a sage, instructed you. So did Krishna Dvipayana in the city of Varanavatta. Rama, Parashuram, on the peak of Mount Brigu, and Shambhu, Shiva, by the Drishadvati. Near Anjana, you have heard Maharishi Asita. Domya is your priest, and there is Narada, who is always a witness. Do not give up the insight and intelligence that the rishis show homage to. O Pandava, with your intelligence you surpass Pururava, the son of Ila. With your strength you surpass the other kings, and in your service of Dharma you surpass the rishis. Set your minds on victory with Indra's resolution, Yama's control over anger, Kubera's charity, and Varuna's self-control. In giving up oneself, you are like the moon. Obtain the sustenance of life from the water, forbearance from the earth, energy from the sun's disk, and strength from the wind. Know that your own prosperity is due to the elements. May you be fortunate. May you be free from disease. I will see you. I will see you return. O Yudhishthira, may you always act properly in all your deeds, in accordance with the principles of Dharma and Artha, for times of calamity and distress. O Kaunteya, O descendant of the Bharata lineage, I give you leave to depart. May you find what is good for you. I will see you again when you return, successful and content. Veshampayana said, thus addressed, the Pandava whose valor was his truth replied, thus shall it be. Bowing to Bhishma and Drona, Yudhishthira went away. 295. Veshampayana said, then, when she was ready to depart, in extreme grief, Krishna went to the famous Prita and took her leave from her and the other ladies who were there. She paid her respect and showed homage to each, as each deserved, and then got ready to go. At that, great lamentations were heard from the inner quarters of the Pandavas. Kunti was extremely miserable on seeing that Draupadi was about to leave. She uttered these words in a voice that was choked with his grief. O child, do not grieve because of this great calamity that has befallen you. You know very well the dharma for women, and you also possess good character and conduct. O one with the sweet smiles, I need to instruct you about the duties towards your husbands. Two families have been graced by your qualities and righteous conduct. The Kurus in the assembly hall are fortunate that they have not been burnt down by your rage. O unblemished one, blessed by my thoughts about you, travel on a route that has no difficulties. The mind of good women are not distorted by what is inevitable. You are protected by the dharma of your superiors, and you will swiftly obtain prosperity. When you live in the forest, always keep an eye on my son, Sahadeva, so that his mind does not sink under this great calamity that has come. The queen replied, so shall it be. She went out, her hair undone, in a single garment that was stained with blood and marked with her flowing tears. As she wept and left, Prita followed her, in grief. She saw all her sons deprived of their ornaments and garments. Their bodies were covered in the skins of Rurudir, and their faces were lowered in shame. They were surrounded by delighted enemies and mourning well-wishers. Driven by affection, she approached all her sons in that state. In words of great lamentation, she spoke to them and their relatives. You have always followed good dharma. You have always been adorned by fortitude and in conduct. You have never been mean. You have always been firm and devoted. You have always been respectful of the gods. Why should this calamity befall you? Why should there be this reversal in fortune? I do not see whose envy and wickedness have led to this. Because I have given birth to you, all this may be because of my ill fortune. So despite possessing supreme qualities, you are suffering the oppression of limitless grief. You do not lack in valor, strength, courage, energy, and fortitude. But thin of body and deprived of your riches, how will you live in that desolate forest? If I had known that you were destined to live in the forest after Pandu's death, I would not have brought you down from the Shatashringa mountains to Gajashavya, Astinapur. I think your father was fortunate. His mind was set on austerities and wisdom. His mind was set on going to heaven before he encountered misery because of his sons. I think that Madri, knowledgeable in dharma and virtuous in every way, was fortunate. She had the foresight of knowing what was going to happen and attained supreme salvation. Love and thoughts and purpose determined by decision. Alas, on my love for life, I suffer all this misery because of that. When Kunti lamented in this way, the Pandavas comforted her and showed her homage. Unhappily, they then set out for the forest. Vidura and the others, who were themselves aggrieved, consoled the afflicted Kunti. Explaining the reasons and thus suffering even more, they slowly led her to Kshata's house. King Dhritarashtra's mind was immersed in grief. He asked Kshata to come to him at once. So Vidura went to Dhritarashtra's house. In great anxiety, Dhritarashtra, Lord of Men, questioned him. 296. Dhritarashtra asked, how is Kunteya Dharmaraj Yudhishthir living? How about Bhimsen, Sabyasachi, and the two sons of Madri? O Kshata, how about Domya and the ascetic Draupadi? I wish to hear everything. Describe to me every act of theirs. Vidura replied, Kunti's son Yudhishthir is departing, covering his face with his garment. Pandava Bhima is spreading his long arms as he goes. Sabyasachi is following the king, scattering sand. Madri's son Sahadeva has smeared his face as he goes. Nakula, the most handsome man in this world, follows the king. His mind is despondent, and he has smeared his entire body with dust. The large-eyed and beautiful Krishna follows the king. She is weeping and has covered her face with her hair. O Lord of the earth, Domya is chanting terrible Sama hymns connected with Yama, and as he treads the path, he is holding kusha grass in his hand. Dhritarashtra asked, the Pandavas are going in many different forms? O Vidura, please tell me why they are going in these different ways. Vidura replied, though your sons robbed him of his kingdom and his riches through deceit, the mind of the intelligent Dharmaraj does not deviate from Dharma. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, this king is always kind to the sons of Dhritarashtra. Though he has been deprived through deceit, he refuses to open his eyes in anger. I will burn these people down if I look at them through my terrible eyes. Thinking this, the Pandava king goes with his face covered. Now listen to me as I tell you why Bhima is going in this way. O bull among the Bharata lineage, there is no equal to me in strength of arms. Knowing this, Bhima spreads his long arms as he goes. Proud of the strength of his arms, he displays his arms. He wishes to perform acts on the enemy that do justice to those arms. Kunti's son Arjuna is capable of using both arms to shower arrows. Sabyasachi follows the king, scattering sand. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, just as he scatters sand in that fashion, he will release showers of arrows on his enemies. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, let no one recognize my face today. Thinking this, Sahadev travels with a smeared face. Along the route, I may steal the heart of women who look at me. Thinking this, Nakula travels with his entire body covered in dust. Draupadi is attired in a single garment. She is weeping, and she is in her menses. Her hair has not been braided, and her garment is smeared with blood. She has spoken these words. In the 14th year, the wives of those who have caused my present plight will find their husbands dead, their sons dead, their relatives dead, and their beloved ones dead. Their bodies will be covered with the blood of their relatives. Their hair will not be braided, and they will be in their menses. It is only after offering water to the dead that those Aryas will enter Gajashavya. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, Domya is a self-controlled priest. He is chanting Sama hymns connected with Yama and is leading them from the front towards the southwest. He holds dharba grass. When the descendants of the Bharata lineage have been killed in battle, the elders of the Kuru clan will chant these Sama hymns. Domya is proceeding with these words. Alas, alas, our lords are leaving. Witness this great misery. This is what the miserable citizens are saying in every direction. The intelligent Konteyas are leaving for the forest in this fashion, indicating through these signs and marks the resolutions that exist in their hearts. As those foremost among men are leaving Gajashavya, lightning is flashing in the cloudless sky, and the earth is trembling. O Lord of the earth, Rahu has swallowed the sun, though this is not the time of Parvani. Parvani means the day of the full moon or the day of the new moon. Meteors are descending throughout the sky. Predatory animals are screaming, together with vultures, jackals, and crows, in the temple of the gods, in sanctuaries, and from the tops of walls and houses. O king, these are the great and terrible portents as the Pandavas leave for the forest. They indicate the doom of the Bharatas, since you have acted in accordance with evil counsel. Vaishampayana said, Narada now appeared in the Sabha and stood before the Kurus. He was surrounded by Maharishis and spoke these terrible words. In the 14th year from now, because of Duryodhana's crime, and through the strength of Bhima and Arjuna, the Kauravas who are here will be destroyed. Having uttered these words, the supreme of Devarshis, graced with the great prosperity of the Brahman, arose to the sky and swiftly disappeared. At this, Duryodhana, Karna, and Sobala Shakuni thought that Drona would be their refuge and offered him the kingdom. Drona spoke these words to the evil Duryodhana, Dushashana, Karna, and all of the other Bharatas. The Brahmanas have said that the Pandavas, sons of the gods, should not be killed. Cannot be killed is also a possible translation. But with all my strength, I will do whatever I can for those who seek refuge with me. With all their hearts and devotion, the sons of Dhritarashtra and their king have come to me, and I cannot abandon them. Destiny is always supreme. In accordance with Dharma, the sons of Pandu have been defeated and have left for the forest. The Kauravas will live in the forest for 12 years. They will practice brahmacharya, but since they will fall prey to anger and intolerance, the Pandavas will return with enmity and be the cause of great grief to me. In a feud of our friendship, I once dislodged Drupada from his kingdom. O descendant of the Bharata lineage! In his anger, he performed a sacrifice to obtain a son who would kill me. Through the austerities of Yajna and Upajaya, he obtained a son named Drishtadyumna from the fire, and the slender-waisted Draupadi from the middle of the altar. He
If you're going to read the footnote, read it.
He, Drishtadyumna, was given by the gods and has radiance like that of the fire. He was born with bow, arrows, and armor. Since I am subject to the dharma of earth, I am possessed by great fear for him. This son of Prishata is Drupada, a bull among men, is now on their side. There will be great fear to my life if I ever have to battle him. He is famous in the world because it has been heard that he will kill me. Because of your deed, that time of destruction has arrived. Therefore, without any loss of time, do what is best for you. This happiness will last for a short time, like the shade of a palm tree in the winter. Perform great sacrifices, enjoy your pleasures, and donate. In the 14th year, a great calamity will befall you. O Duryodhana, depending on your inclinations, you have heard or understood. If you desire, use pacification with the Pandavas. On hearing Drona's words, Dhritarashtra said, O Kshata, what the preceptor has said is true. Go back to the Pandavas. If they do not return, offer respect to the Pandavas. Let these fortunate sons go with arms, chariots, and infantry. There's a footnote that says nothing happens to this instruction. There's disconnect with what happens next. The fortunate sons are the Pandavas, and Vidura doesn't go to try and bring them back. If they decide to go to the forest, Dhritarashtra is offering the Pandavas weapons, chariots, and infantry. However, this doesn't materialize. Both this chapter and the next seem to have been added on later. End of footnote. 297. Vishampayana said, O great king, when the Parthas were defeated in gambling with the dice and had left for the forest, Dhritarashtra began to worry a lot. Dhritarashtra, lord of the people, was seated, worrying, sighing, and with his mind distracted. At that time, Sanjaya told him, O lord of the earth, you have obtained the entire earth with all its riches. O king, the Pandavas have left from the kingdom. Why are you grieving? Dhritarashtra replied, the Mahabharata Pandavas are terrible in battle and have allies. Knowing that the enmity will occur, should one not sorrow? Sanjaya said, O king, this great enmity is the consequence of your great deed. There will be complete destruction of the entire world and all the relatives. Though restrained by Bhishma, Drona, and Vidura, your shameless and evil-minded son Duryodhana sent the Pratikamin, the son of Asuta, to bring the Pandavas' beloved wife, Draupadi, the follower of Dharma. Dhritarashtra replied, when the gods wish to defeat a man, they first take his intelligence away, so that his vision becomes distorted. When destruction is nigh and intelligence is clouded, an improper course of action appears as the proper course of action and sticks to the heart. That which is evil appears in the form of that which is good, and that which is good appears in the form of that which is evil. When destruction is near, they appear thus and one in content. Destiny does not arrive with a club and strike one on the head with it. The strength of time is that it makes the opposite seem to be right. By dragging the ascetic Panchali into the middle of the Sabha, those evil ones have caused this terrible calamity that makes the hair on the body stand up. She is beautiful and she is not born from a womb. She has been born from the fire. She is illustrious and is knowledgeable in all dharma. Who but a deceitful gambler could overpower her and drag her into the middle of an assembly hall? Following the dharma of women, the one with the beautiful hips was covered in blood. Panchali was in single garment. She looked at the Pandavas, robbed of their riches, deprived of their thoughts, robbed of their wife, robbed of their prosperity, deprived of all their pleasures, and reduced to a state of servitude. Bound by the news of Dharma, they were unable to exhibit their valor. Among all the assembled Kurus, Duryodhana and Karna spoke harsh and insulting words to the angry, defiant, and miserable Krishna. O Sanjaya, the earth itself would be burnt down because of those wretched eyes. Would anything have been left of my sons? On seeing Krishna being dragged into the Sabha, all the women of the Bharata lineage who had assembled with Gandhari loudly cried out in anguish. No Agniotras were offered in the evening because the Brahmanas were enraged at Draupadi's oppression. Terrible winds began to blow as if the destruction of the beings had arrived. Terrible meteors descended from the sky and Rahu swallowed the sun. This was not the time of Parvani, but a terrible fear was created in the minds of the subjects. Fearful fires blazed from the places where chariots are kept. All the flagstaffs crumbled, signifying disaster for the Bharatas. In Duryodhana's Agni-otra, jackals howled in terrible tones. From all the directions, donkeys brayed back in response. O Sanjaya, Bhishma then left with Drona, and so did Kripa, Somarata, and the Maharata Balika. At that time, prompted by Vidura, I told Krishna that I would grant her whatever boon she desired. Panchali then chose the Pandavas whose energy is unlimited. I then allowed them to leave with their chariots and their bows. It is then that the immensely wise Vidura, who knows all the Dharma, spoke. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, this dragging of Krishna into the assembly hall will bring about your destruction. The daughter of the king of Panchala is the supreme Shri. It was decreed by destiny that Panchali would marry the Pandavas. The angry Parthas will never pardon her humiliation, nor will the mighty archers, the Vrishnis, or the immensely energetic Panchalas. They are protected by Vasudev, always fixed on the truce. Surrounded by the Panchalas, Bibatsu will return. Among them, there will be the immensely strong and mighty archer Bhimsen. He will come whirling his club like the staff of death. No kings will be able to withstand the sound of the intelligent Parthas Gandiva or the speed of Bhima's club. Therefore, it seems to me that one should always have peace and not war with the Parthas. I have always thought that the Pandavas are stronger than the Kurus. With the force of his arms, Bhima killed in battle the immensely radiant and powerful King Jarasandh. O bull among the Bharata lineage, you must ensure peace with the Pandavas. Without any hesitation, act impartially vis-à-vis the two parties. O son of Gavalgana, that's Sanjaya, thus did Kshata utter words that were steeped in Dharma and Artha. But out of the affection I bear for my son, I did not accept his words.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that was fantastic.
Dang. That's the end of the parva.
Well,
Fantastic.
we can have chats though now.
Yes.
Okay.
You want to turn off the recording?
I'll do that. Yeah.
Well, that was brilliant. That was really good.